So you wanna pump for 5 minutes, but after 40 seconds, your BPM is like 190 and your back leg is on fire. Listen up, because I'm going to explain you exactly how I went from getting exhausted after 40 seconds to pump for more than 5 minutes in less than 1 month. There are technical factors and external factors, but let's start from the technical first. The first thing that I changed is my position on the board.
How much is cost this?
This, and the whole set, 2.5.
2.500, yeah?
Yeah.
Ja, genau. Du bist so ein Stück, nicht Banglet electric. Ja, easy to go?
No, this one is not electric, so it's a little bit tricky to go.
Oh, this is not electric?
No, you have to
this,
use...
these jumpings, yeah?
Yeah. I used to try to stay as upright as possible on the board because I thought that this way I would put less pressure on my legs, but I was wrong. Because when I started contracting my abs, I was actually more efficient. I thought it was because this way I was less rigid with my back and with my neck. But by discussing with some guys in the community, we found out that in reality, it's because by contracting your abs, you are able to better transfer your weight on the foil. The second thing is to be relaxed. But what does that mean? We always say that we have to be relaxed, but what does that mean in practice? For me, being relaxed means like enjoying the ride like fully. You have to be connected with the foil, connected with the board, connected with the water. You have to feel everything, to be completely immersed, present in that moment. You have to enjoy every single part of the ride, and believe me that this way you're not gonna have an involuntary muscle contraction. The third thing is the feet placement, and it's not just about keeping your feet shoulder width apart, it's also rotating your toes towards the nose. It might sound stupid, but this way it's gonna be much easier to transfer your weight in the front. So when you're gonna hop, you're gonna transfer your weight in the front for the descent, so you're gonna project yourself forward. The fourth technical tip that I have for you is the pump and glide drill. Believe me, if you give 4, 5, 6 pumps and then you can glide for 1.5, 2 seconds, those 2 seconds are vital because our legs start burning just because we keep pumping blood there without giving them enough time to rest. The fifth tip, and perhaps the most important, is just go out there and pump. I was able to improve my technique so much just because I was out there more than 10 hours per week. For what concerns the external factors, first off, not having a wetsuit is game changer. Not because of the weight, but because you can really breathe fully. Because the wetsuit is really compressing you, especially thick wetsuits, like winter wetsuits, you're really compressed. If you go out there, you pump for 40 seconds, you're exhausted, and then you try to rest, and you have your wetsuit on, you will notice that it's gonna take you much more time to recover. On the other hand, if you don't have the wetsuit, if you pump for 40 seconds, let's say that your technique is not perfect, but still, after those 40 seconds, you're gonna recover in 1 minute, something like that. And the same principle applies while you are on foil. If you can breathe fully, if you can really expand our lunges, we can keep our heart rate much lower. At first, I didn't realize this, but after talking to some guys on foilers in Zurich, we found out that pumping in shallow water is actually easier because you have something below you. So you are not pushing against other water. You're pushing against some water, but then below the water there is the seabed. I mean, the seabed is closer. So it's like if one pump is more efficient because you are touching something. You are pushing against something. And yes, the gear plays a huge role too. The smaller, lighter board, the stiffer mast, the more high aspect front wing, all these things together really helps achieve the perfect technique. So yeah, this way I pumped for 5 minutes. But believe it or not, at the end I was kind of disappointed because yes, it was cool, yes, it's a nice achievement, but it's kind of boring, especially if you're on the same spot. If you're exploring, if you're free-foiling, that's one thing. It's cool to be able to pump for 5-10 minutes. But if you're in your spot, it's just more fun to connect waves or go downwind, right? That's why I see long-distance pumping more as a training for other sports rather than a sport itself. Now you have all what you need. Go out there and it's your turn to pump for 5 minutes or more.